Hello everybody, Master Moose here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to remove rust off a knife made out of like 1095, because these things rust like mofackers. Basically how my knife rusted was I left it unattended. Normally as soon as I come back from my camping trips, I clean all my equipment, my knives. I'll rub down with Hoppy's 9. That'll prevent rust really well. Basically, the reason I couldn't do that with this one this time, my friend got this brand new F-150 truck, and he's like, I want to drive out there. So I was alright, whatever, you know. Grab my bug out bag and all that junk, throw it in the bed of his truck, and we're off to Overbrook. Well, we get back, and, you know, everything went well. My knife got a little dirty, but planned on cleaning it and everything. Next day, he goes to put speakers in his truck and pulls out a kilo of crystal meth from the door panel. Called the cops up right away and everything. They're just like, oh geez, this is worth like $4,000. This is $4,000 of meth. And he's like, oh god. So he took it back to the dealer. They gave him a free car, you know, whatever. But turns out I couldn't find my K-bar. Where was it? I left it in the truck that was impounded. So I had to go to the dealer and pick it up, but got it now, and here's how to remove the rust off from a neglected knife. Alright, for this you will need Hoppy's 9, a rusted knife, and a Q-tip or two. Oh yeah, can't forget the most important part. I have one half of a sheet of 2000 grit sandpaper and a half sheet of 1200 grit sandpaper. I put convex grinds on all my knives, so that's why I'm using sandpaper. You can use a grinding stone if you have a flat ground blade or whatever. But start out with, just take your 1200 grit sandpaper, throw it down on your mouse pad, like so, and clear your workspace a little bit. Sheath, pass over here. Kind of crowded desk here. But alright, so we have our rust all in here. And before I get started, I'm going to take a before and after picture. 1 second. Okay, now what you're going to do is take your 1200 grit sandpaper, lay it on your mouse pad. This only really works well for convex grinds, but I like it for rust removal because the mouse pad will conform to your knife and you'll get every little bit of the blade ground away. So hold that down on the end, away that you're pulling away from, and slide your blade along it. You're not going to want to go with it so much because then you can tear up your sandpaper, and that's just no fun. You're going to start out at a really shallow angle, and you're going to work your way up to a fairly steep angle. This will get every single part of your exposed metal to a fine polish. You can go back and forth a little bit. I wouldn't recommend doing it much though. Alright, right now as you can see already, we have a lot of the rust gone. So we're just going to keep working it for a little while on the 1200 grit sandpaper. Oh yeah, and when you're working on knife sharpening of any kind, when you have a belly like this, very steep belly in your knife, when you move to your belly, you don't want to stay perfectly level like that. You're going to want to come up so you maintain a consistent angle throughout the course of you sharpening your knife. quite a bit of my finish in this process, but I'm not too worried about that. As long as I keep that welly lubed, it should be a-okay. Alright, that is first half of the knife, virtually all the rust removed. If you come here and work on the very edge, you can get a more refined area that you can sand away. That's what I'm doing here. Alright, so now that all of our rust has been removed, as you can see there's no blemishes there or anything, we're going to flip it over to the other side. And now you're going to hold it up front here. You're going to run the knife along like so. Still on our 1200 grit sandpaper, by the way. Alright, and believe it or not, that has removed almost all of our rust. We still have a little bit in this area, which I'm going to try to remove by working the very edge of the knife on here like so. Oh, still on there. Working on it. Okay, looks like all of our rust is now efficiently removed. I'm gonna take this side up through a couple more runs, just to be, I'd rather be safe than sorry. So, alright, there we go. Now we're gonna switch over to our 2000 grit sandpaper. This stuff is so fine, you can bring a knife to a hair shaving sharp edge on this, and it'll put a really nice finish polish on your blade. The 2000 grit's basically just for a finishing, sharpening lesson. So, just run it through. A couple more takes with the 2000. This is the stuff I use to sharpen all my knives. Works really good. I think I'll get a strop eventually. I'm just not quite there yet. I mean, that's ideally how you get the sharpest edge out of a knife out there, but yeah, I'm not there quite yet. Alright, let's see how sharp this blade is. Whew. I don't know if it's quite hair shaving sharp, but that is like ridiculously dangerously sharp. But alright, now that that is all done and all our rust is removed, we're going to protect and preserve this knife. I still have a little bit on the back here. I actually ground away all the finish on here, and it makes a great fire steel striker or fire steam rod, whatever you have. So that's just one of my little mods that I've done to this knife. I took it from a flat ground to a convex grind. Almost cut myself there, God. Felt it digging in, but alright. I also have a little bit of dirt in my handle, dirt in my letters here and there, so we're just gonna take our Hoppies 9. Stuff's great for rust resistance and cleaning anything really, and we're gonna run it over the whole entire knife. This will help remove any of the very surface rust that's left over, and help clean the knife and remove any dirt that you might still have on it and any of that stuff. I'm getting quite a bit of gunk off on my little cotton swab here, mostly from the letters. There's some muck in there, but let's take it. You might want to dip it, like I usually dip it once or twice, a the whole knife. I mean, you're not using very much, and when you're having these things in long storage, you want to keep them. I mean, I like keeping my knives well lubricated, but I suppose it's more personal preference than anything. So as soon as we get our knife nice and wet, we're just gonna sit there and we're gonna let it soak for a little while. Just let it dry off. No need to really wipe it off or anything. I mean, it'll just dry in there, keep your knife, keep it well lubricated and everything. So trying to clean up these letters a little bit. And you can also go on the handle and clean it up with this too if you want. So, but we'll save the rest of that for another video. Basically, now what you're going to want to do, let your knife dry, and when it's finally dry, throw it back in your sheath and you will have a rust resistant knife. Thanks for watching, guys, and take care.